Hello everybody, welcome into the Hobby Bar. This is Jason, and welcome. Today we'll be starting on this guy, a Warhammer 40k mini. He's an Acolyte Iconward for the Genestealer Cults faction. Painted up, I believe, something else for them before. It's been a bit since I've done them, but yeah, kind of want to focus on him, but we'll also work on these guys. Probably just keep the footage rolling on that. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. But primary focus this guy. Anyway, if you do any hobbying, feel free to jump in, join along, get some stuff done, rock and roll. If not, hey, that's cool too. I appreciate you swinging by, checking it out, hopefully getting some stuff done and having a good time. But as usual, go ahead and roll up your own playlist, and let's get tucked into getting started on these guys. So first up, we are going to be breaking out the Citadel Thousand Suns Blue. I kind of only use this color on the newer Magus model that they put out that's sort of feminine in appearance. And I was like, you know what, maybe a few more people in the army can have it. Maybe one of the Acolyte looking Deuterinos can have that color on them too, since it's still a blue, it's just a lighter blue. So I want to go ahead and give it to this Iconward. Because, why not? I got a few others if I really don't care for it. But, yeah, get some variation in there as well. So, go ahead and use this, Thousand Suns Blue here on it, and then probably wash it, and we'll get to that when we get to it. But, this is just initial base coats. Putting them on nice and thin. Thinned them out with some Merlin's Magic Medium from Cephalopod Studios, so, yeah. Everything will be nice and thin over this white prime that I use, that they got primed in quite a while ago. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get all the robes for this Acolyte done up in the Thousand Suns Blue. And yeah, I'll catch up with you here in a little while for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Citadel Macragge Blue. Wanted to bust out this color for the robes on these other duders. Just because it's kind of more the blue that I've been using for them. When I do break out the blue for them. Could have used purple or brown or something just because he's out there being the field leader. But yeah, just wanted to go with this blue. Also gonna pick out, I think, armor pieces now. We might do it later. But we'll be going back and forth between colors a few times here. So don't be too surprised when that happens. Anyway, we'll go ahead and get these base coats started for the Macragge Blue, and I'll catch up with you here shortly for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting out the Citadel Averland Sunset. It's a nice yellow base paint, and again, similar to the other two, thinned it down with some medium, this way it's not too thick on there. And yeah, just building up the color. I wanted to give a nice yellow banner to this, because I figure, it might not look too bad, having a big yellow banner, kind of inspiring for the cultists around it. And then only downside, need to figure out what color to make the icon on the banner. And the little fringe at the bottom of the banner. Not sure if I want to go with purple or make it metallic or what yet, but we'll figure that out as we go. Also going to get the shoulder pad on it and the cloak for the Primus up there, who doesn't have any paint on him yet. The exterior of that cloak's going to be this yellow as well, so we'll go ahead and get some of the base coats done with the Averland Sunset, and then I'll catch up with you here in a little bit when we move on to the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting out the Macragge Blue again real shortly, just to get this pauldron that he has painted up blue, because I wanted it base coated blue so it stands out a bit better. I didn't want it to be black like the rest of his armor. But then after that, needed to break back out the Averland Sunset just because I noticed the sleeve wasn't quite strongly built up yet, so wanted to give it a second quick coat. Now we're moving on to Citadel Rakarth Flesh. Sort of a pale fleshy tone, pallid fleshy tone, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to use this as the base coat because I think I did it on one of the others before, and then can use some contrast paints to purple up the skin a bit, just to make them that Gene Stealery goodness. But yeah, I wanted to base coat the more humanoid features, I guess you could say. The less alien bits I wanted to be the Rakarth Flesh. We'll come back with a different color for the more alien pieces, like the claws and all the carapist looking stuff that's very much not human and not normal. Anyway, we'll be finishing up with this here shortly with the Rakarth Flesh, and I'll catch up with you here when we move on to the next paint. Alrighty, here we are busting out the Citadel Abaddon Black. want to use this as the base coat for the armor. Eventually gonna probably overbrush over it with metallics. This way the ribbed areas are metallic and the recesses are left black. What I probably should have done was just use a contrast or quick shade paint over it instead of thinning down Abaddon Black, but it still worked fine. Yeah, so we'll get all the armor, the ribbed armor, and basically the chest plate and the back plate on all three of these guys done up in the Abaddon Black. Also start the process for the little command projection disc thing that old boyo has. But yeah, we'll go ahead and knock this out. Takes a little while, and we'll have to come back to this color later too. But yeah, we'll go ahead and get all of these base coated, and I'll catch up with you here in a little while and move on to the next bit. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Averland Sunset again, just because I saw the battery pack, that kind of looking thing on the bottom, and I figured, you know what would be cool? Make that caution striped, or at least yellow it up for now with the base coats. So we'll probably caution stripe it, but for now, just gonna make parts of it yellow and figure out the other sides later. Because now we're back to Abaddon Black, because Primus needs more of his armor done up in it. So, yeah, it's quite a long process with the Abaddon Black. Trying to be neat here, trying not to get it too much of it elsewhere. Because that was kind of a problem I noticed on the homeboy with the disc. He had some blue on his boots, and I'll have to actually come back in and fix that up. Give him more coats of paint to hide the mistakes, as it were. But it'll be fine. It'll all work out. He just might have a different color boots for a little while. But yeah, we'll go ahead and continue rocking on the Abaddon Black, and I'll catch up with you all here in a bit for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are breaking out the Citadel Daemonette Hide. And this was the paint I was going to use to base coat the alien looking bits. Because it's a sort of grayish purple. And yeah, that's kind of what I wanted for the base coat, and then we can put some Majos purple over that too, similar to the skin, and it'll look similar but different to the Rakarth Flesh areas. So that's the goal here, just base coat up the alien bits on all three of them, and then also give it a touch around the forehead ribbing on a couple of them. But yeah, we'll go ahead and rock and roll with this color for a little while, and I'll catch up with you here in a little bit for the next paint. Alrighty, here we are moving on to Citadel Steel Legion Drab. I wanted to use this paint as the inner cloak paint, basically. Give him a brown inside liner kind of thing. And get the edges of the yellow jacket to be this nice, like brown color. Instead of, I don't know, something else. I tend to like having the inside of the robes and cloaks be a different color than the outside. I don't know, it just makes it look a little more interesting, though it can be a pain in the butt, especially when they're already on the base like this guy. But, yeah, we'll go ahead and go around getting this on them, and, getting it in some places where we didn't want it, so we'll have to fix that here shortly, too. So I'll catch up with you here shortly for that. Alrighty, transitioning back to Averland Sunset, just need to try to give it another coat on his cloak here, just because I noticed a bit of brown spillover. Alrighty, now we're moving on to Citadel Retributor Armour. I want to get the gold started at least on all these guys. The Iconward does have quite a bit of embellishment on this big old banner. Kind of a pain. I noticed when I was working on it too. It's a little wibbly wobbly on that tiny stick. So really not looking forward to transporting this boy. But yeah, I wanted to get the Gene Stealer kind of moon circles done up in gold and get chains and some of the other iconography done up in gold at least to start. The cross, the, I don't know what you want to call them, the blades basically that the banner attaches to, that I'm leaning towards silver. I was also tempted to just leave them white for now and do them bone later, but I think I'll just make them silver and do that next time. But yeah, gonna be working on gold for quite a while with these guys, so yeah, they do have a lot of little knickknacks all over them, which are nice, but also can sometimes be a bit of a pain since you gotta find each one and paint them up. But anyway, go ahead and rock this out for the rest of the time today on these three guys with the Retributor Armour. And I'll catch up with you all here in a little while for the last call. Alrighty, last call everybody, last call. So today's last call, just figured give these guys the spin that they've had. Since worked on all three of them. I think I'll just keep working on them at the same time, just because I'm kind of using similar colors on all three anyway, so might as well. Just to keep them rolling together. And we'll figure things out as we go for what other colors to get base coated. Probably doing a little bit more base coating next time, and then start working on washes and layering up other paints and all that fun stuff. So we'll see where we can get with them next time. But yeah, that decent start at least. I think it was maybe an hour and a half worth of time put into them, counting distractions. So yeah, we'll see where we can end up with these guys. And yeah, appreciate you all hanging out, and hopefully you got some stuff done. And have a good one out there, everyone. Take care. See you around.